I was knocked out and I was like, just laying there, and then the lady come and start tapping me on my shoulder, talking about, you need to put your seatbelt on, put your seatbelt on. And I'm like, huh? And like, what's going on? And she's like, we're having an emergency landing.
Warren turned on a speed, 63 yards on the run by Jaylen Warren.
Steeler Nation, what do you say? How about 2 in a row? The Steelers get it done in Las Vegas. We are back with another Jaylen Warren show, the Sick Podcast, Steeler Crazy. I'm Jay York Football. This is Mic'd Up Sports One, and we want to give a special shout out to our guys over at City Wheelhouse. City Wheelhouse, where the bar is set. Tires for all cars and trucks can now be purchased online at steelcitywheelhouse.com. Financing is available. You need tint, you need tires, any custom autumn work. The thing is, there's 2 Johns. It doesn't get much better than that. So make sure that you tell them that the Sick Podcast, Steeler Crazy, sent you over there. Again, that is Steel City Wheelhouse, where the bar is set. Mike, how are you?
I'm good. I mean, we got to mention that Jaylen uses them too. That's how good they are. Like, we're not just throwing it out there because they support us and we support them. They really are absolutely awesome. Jaylen goes there, so we want you guys to go there too. I'm good. It's Victory Tuesday, so I'm happy to talk to Jaylen, see how he's doing, feeling, especially after that tumultuous flight. I got to ask him about that, of course, because that was national news. So we're happy that everybody's safe at the end of the day, and obviously, it comes second, but we're happy they won the game as well. So let's pick his brain. And I'm ready to rock and roll, JY. How about you?
What do you say, Mike? I think we bring the man in himself, number 30 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mr. Jaylen Warren. How are you?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
Victory Tuesday. Gets no better, right? 2 in a row.
Yes, great feeling.
It's good to see you. It's always better to see you after a W, of course. We're going to get into the game. But, I got to ask you about the scary situation. You guys are getting on a plane, of course, to fly home after this Raiders game. And before you know it, you're making an emergency landing. What's the first thing that happens? Is there like turbulence? Is there an announcement? Are you guys kind of like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it was like that part of the flight where everybody's like knocked out. I was knocked out and I was like, just laying there, and then the lady come and start tapping me on my shoulder, talking about, you need to put your seatbelt on, put your seatbelt on. And I'm like, huh? And like, what's going on? And she's like, we're having an emergency landing. But she's like, it looks like she's freaking out. So I'm like, what's happening? And I guess she started explaining it, but I'm still like looking around to see.
Half asleep.
Like, what's going, yeah, I'm half asleep, not even listening. I'm freaking out in the inside. And then she go and, she started waking up and telling the other players to like put their seatbelt on and whatnot. And so, I'm sitting there. I didn't feel no turbulence or anything. I honestly didn't say why we were having emergency landing. But, yeah, it was scary. Because
I'm glad you're safe. That's the biggest thing.
Scared of heights, I don't like heights. I don't like malfunction on the plane where you literally can't do anything about it. You just got to trust the pilot land safely,
Yeah.
So who are you sitting next to, first of all?
No, we all got our own seats.
Okay, what's like the reaction like from aisle to aisle? I'm sure you guys are looking over at each other like in shock and
what is
awe.
going
like,
on?
Is this really happening?
So like behind me was Broderick, and then a couple rows I was like in my radius was Calvin Austin, Darnell Washington, and then she goes to wake Calvin Austin up. And I just he's like, why? What's going on? And he's like, you can't tell me to put my seatbelt on without letting me know what's going on, you know?
Right.
And I'm just hearing it. I'm like, that's scary.
Yeah, for sure scary. But then, we all learn that you guys are make the emergency landing. Everybody's safe, which is great. But then you're stuck for what feels like 12 hours. Were you able to go back to sleep? Are you able to pass out? Or are you guys sitting there playing video games on a PSP or something at this point? What's the vibe then?
I do go back to sleep. I can sleep under any circumstance.
You're one of those guys.
Because I'd rather everything happened while I'm sleeping. I don't want to stay awake while everything's happening. So I go back to sleep. We land. It wasn't a crazy landing that I remember, but I wake up and there's people standing around talking. They're announcing that we're gonna be here. There's gonna be a flight, airplane coming, and so we're gonna have to get out the airplane, go on to the next airplane. And so I'm sitting there. I go back to sleep, and I wake up, and people are laying down in the aisle where people walk. People are laying everywhere, just knocked out. Yeah, it's just like, are we really over
Sounds
here?
like a movie.
Yeah, you would have thought.
Snakes on a plane.
Oh,
No, and we can make light of it now, of course, but a scary situation. We're happy everybody's okay. And we definitely wanted to
right.
hear a player's perspective on that for sure. And we want to get a player's perspective, of course, as we transition into this big win over the Las Vegas Raiders. Stacking W's, it's 2 in a row for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Offense scores the most points they have in a game. It seemed like a lot was clicking for you guys, man.
Yeah, it was. I knew it was gonna click sooner or later. Like what we kind of put on display on film the past couple of weeks. Everybody knew that was, well, I don't know about the fans, but players, staff, we knew that wasn't us as an offense. So it was kind of good to come out and show a little bit more of what we usually do, like in practice when our preparation. And, it was a good feeling putting it out there.
We're hanging out here, of course, on the Jaylen Warren Show, brought to you by the Sick Podcast Steelers Crazy. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. We know everybody enjoys this show weekly. We love the comments. We love the love, of course, always. All right, number 99 in black and silver. This is a big, bad dude, Mr. Crosby. There's a blitz pickup in this game on a touchdown pass to Calvin Austin, his first ever touchdown. Did you go up to Calvin or Kenny after the play and say, hey, listen, man, that might not have happened if I don't stop 99? What's your thought process, though, when he's coming through the hole?
Well, first of all, that was my guy. That backer was my guy, but the center took him, and so it's kind of like we call it like a pizza theory. He takes mine, I'll take his. So when I seen him looping, I just took him. Just seen him, took him.
The pizza theory. I've never heard of that. I like that. It's like if one person gets a vegetable and the other person gets sausage and pepperoni. Can I get it? Can I get a little share of that of your side?
I'll just make.
All right. What do you get on the pizza? Even more importantly, what's your ideal toppings?
I love meat lovers.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Ham, bacon, sausage.
You never go wrong. Yeah.
Y'all like pineapple on pizza?
I would eat it, but I never order it. Why, you're a pineapple hater. I can tell. You're ready to quit the show.
He loves it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
I honestly think I've only had it once.
I like it. From Little Caesars, that pineapple pizza. Yeah.
There you go.
Listen, I'll eat anything on pizza because it's pizza. But a lot of people don't love. Like you put a hot tamale. You put one of these on piece of pizza, I would probably still eat it. Even though this is really
I'm good on
candy
that.
and all honesty.
That's probably
it's not
the
a good
line
candy.
gets drawn for me. That's probably it.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, before I pass it to Jordan, you and Najee ended up with about a 50-50 share in that game. How important is it to, for that to happen and keep each other fresh? It's a long season for you guys. I'm sure, and you both had really good games.
Yeah, I've kind of, I don't want to say I've been feeling it, but like earlier this week, I went up to him. I was like, you took every snap like your rookie year. I don't know how you did that, and you feel straight, So I think that's pretty impressive, because I've got more reps, and those are strong man reps. So I think it's cool, keep each other healthy, fresh legs when we're in. I think it's a good thing.
Hey, by the way, our guys back in the studio, Sammy, sent us a message. He said, you can't put pineapple on pizza. So you'll have to take that up with him next Tuesday, next time we see him.
On pizza?
We just got a message right here sent to us live during the show. Before I send it to Jordan real quick, I just want to talk about Shopkins. I got this hat from Shopkins. JY got his hat from Shopkins. We're going to hook Jaylen up with some stuff eventually here. The number one brand for Pittsburgh sports. Make sure you're repping black and gold. Listen, Steelers have won 2 in a row. Obviously, we're expecting big things from this team. It's going to keep happening. The Jaylen Warren Show proudly brought to you by Shopkins. Use the code SICK15. You get 15% off your entire purchase. It's really important to mention no minimum purchase, not just necessary. Hats are great value. I got a koozie the other day. He's got a bucket hat. We got to get Jaylen one of those. And yeah, Jordan, Shopkins, great stuff.
Yeah, kind of talking about Steeler Nation, Yinzer Nation. Did it feel like a home game out there?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, all them yellow towels and
Yeah.
like I would get confused when there's a penalty on who was on because usually the home team cheers loud
Yeah.
when it's on them. But I didn't know if it was overturned or I didn't know if it was on us.
Yeah, you had to
Because
wait.
it was the same, it was the same volume of noise when it was on us and when it wasn't. So that was like probably my first time experiencing that, which was crazy.
Yeah, the West Coast, Steeler West Coast, it's just massive. I mean, it's everywhere, but like on the West Coast, it's like it's next level. Always a good thing, and I'm sure they'll appreciate that. You're leading all running backs in yak yards after catch. Did you know that? And what do you think led to that success of that stat? I know you don't really care. You always tell us, you don't care about stats, but I mean, I think it's a pretty, unique thing, and I think it's something that hey, I'm here.
What comes to my mind when I think of that, like, yeah, my family brought it up to me, but it's not really. It's. I just think it's surreal that I have something like that in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like I'm up there somewhat in the NFL. I know it's only game 3, but I think that's pretty cool. How, like, yeah, like I think that's a stat. It's a cool stat to have, but it's in the NFL, and I think that's cool. I think that's a reflection of preparation of our team. Obviously, I couldn't do it without my teammates. Kenny Pickett's the one that throws me the ball, so I couldn't do it without him.
That
So
was my next question. So you kind of just led me into it. How has his command been in the huddle? And obviously, like he just from from watching at home, like his confidence was there. Everything was clicking. It just it was just really good to see all around. Just talk about like the command in the huddle a little bit.
yeah, you can tell like he's taking more initiative with like the calls and telling us where to be, not letting any noise get to him. He's just staying true to us, and he's really well bought into like what we've been creating as an offense whole. So trusting each other, you can tell he's bought into that process.
Good to hear,
You have
Mike.
more yards after catch than Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. I just had to look that up real quick as we were sitting here. So that's another.
Well, there are that play I got fined on, like like I literally caught it, I turned and nobody was by me. So that was a huge play. So a lot of these plays, I catch the ball and they're designed, and I turn around. There's 10 free yards to get right there. So again, I can't do that without my teammates.
Humble. He's humble. Let's talk a little bit about this. This was an interesting report that came out, and you might obviously not be able to speak on this because you're not the quarterback of the team. However, it was reported that Matt Canada is now going to take on a more prominent role with Kenny Pickett. I think the exact verbiage was he's going to work directly with him on a daily basis. Did you see any changes this past week? Is Canada on the involved a little bit more?
Honestly, I haven't seen any changes.
Yeah.
That when was that? I didn't
Yeah, I
even know.
mean, it was this past week, and I'm not gonna lie, everybody was confused. So
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he's the leader on offense. I mean, he's the one who is
Yeah. Who else would
orchestrating
be?
everything. Right.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about something that you guys and Matt Canada did really well this past game, and that's play action, Jaylen. 6 of 8, 4 first downs and a touchdown. You guys were off play action. Is that something that you guys have been working on a little more, talking a little bit more about in some of those offensive meetings?
Yeah, we know like it's global. Going into the game in order to make the play action pass work, you got to run the ball. So we kind of showed glimpse of that running the ball, which kind of opened that up for us. The play action. So I think with the emphasis on that, it showed on Sunday.
You guys are heading to Houston this weekend to take on the Texans. What are your initial thoughts on their team that they have over there?
I haven't looked over there. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't looked. I like watch highlights. They got a couple good DBs, but as far as like personnel, like name by name and all that, that's something I'm gonna look into tonight. So
after these couple wins, how do you guys still keep the focus on, like one game at a time? Something, that I'm sure Tomlin always, pounds into you guys is that, hey, it's nice to get the victory, but it's a new week and it comes up fast, just, with the turnaround. Just kind of talk about that.
I mean, take it game by game. It's only game 3. We got a long season. We can't let our head get big off of 2 wins. We gotta act like we've been here before and just stay on our craft. Obviously, we didn't have a perfect game. There's always something to critique out of the game. Film's crazy.
Yeah,
you can learn a lot from film, whether it's good or bad. So, just building off both good and bad, and come Wednesday we go to work.
Yeah, I think that, just from the outside looking in, it's a little bit easier after, you win, you see how your offense performed, just to, gain that momentum to go into that game, to have the confidence that you guys can produce at an even higher level than you did in the past game. So do you expect it again in Houston to be flooded with Steeler fans? Like, I mean, I know that there's a lot of Texas.
They've made it an expectation for me since I've been here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Away games, there's so many more Steelers fans. Like, it's nothing I've experienced my whole life where there's just as many Steelers fans as there is the home team. Like, that's the craziest thing to me.
Yeah, not every franchise is like that, so very fortunate.
That's all I know.
It's all you need to know, Jaylen.
Right.
Before I throw it over to Mike, I just wanted to shout out another great sponsor, Mark over at Brushes and Beans Cafe in Murraysville. Caffeinate and create at Brushes and Beans Cafe. Visit them at 4550 William Penn Highway in Murraysville. Just so much to do over there. They support so many athletes in college on these NIL deals and just doing a lot of great stuff with the University of Pittsburgh. So just make sure you go get some tea, some coffee, do some art, and make sure you tell them that the Sick Podcast Steeler Crazy sent you. And that is Brushes and Beans Cafe in Murraysville. Shout out our guy Mark over there.
Are you a coffee guy, Jaylen?
No.
Never. See, when I was your
green
age,
tea,
I never had a cup of coffee. And now I'm like early 30s, and I'm like,
I just do the
espresso.
Yeah, I'm not like a coffee in the morning guy. I chug water, but an espresso when I know I'm going to have a long day.
When you got a young kid, definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, Jaylen, we're going to get you out of here. A couple things. We're going to get you out of here with a couple things. First of all, you might have already gave us a quote of the day with your pizza theory. I'd never heard that one, but we talked about it last show, man. We said Warrenisms, Jaylenisms. We're no more Tomlinisms, man. We want the Warrenism of the day. We're putting you on the spot again. Do you got the notepad? You got anything for us?
Oh, man.
I thought he brought the notepad.
Now next week to be prepared.
Now I know next week, yeah.
You can find one. No.
I don't know. I want to say it's a Warrenism. I really do get my, verbiage from,
Coach.
my environments that I put myself in. But I don't know, really just nothing changes if nothing changes,
You say you didn't have one, and you're going to hit us with that?
I mean, I didn't make that up.
What do you mean?
I didn't make that up.
That's fire.
Oh yeah, I love that quote.
I like that.
Yeah.
Man, that was like the build up on that. You're like, I don't have one, but boom, let me smack you in the face with that one.
This was all planned pre-show. Just for everyone. I'm kidding.
Sort of like you did with that hit where you got fined on. I don't have a plan, but boom, I'm gonna hit you in the face. All right, I got one last thing we like involving the fans now. I got a fan question for you before you get out of here. This is from Brian Katz. Thanks so much, Brian, for participating, watching the show. He asks, "What music do you listen to before a game to get pumped up? Or what if you don't listen to music, what kind of music are you listening to throughout the week?"
So like I say 3 to 4 hours before the game, or like say it's the whole day. But around there I listen to slow jams, like R&B, early 2000s, late 90s. I just kind of like soothe the soul. And then as time gets closer to the game, that's when I kind of start listening to my rap. Listen to like I don't know if y'all know who 42 Doug is.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
42 Doug, like it's something that gets me hyped. But we go out to the field, say we go warm up on the field, we come back in for those like 10 minutes before the kickoff, and I have to listen to Eminem "Lose Yourself."
Ah, nice.
Yes,
Yep.
Is that
On
like one of those
spaghetti.
things like you have to like it's a super shit like that you have to listen
ritual.
to that?
Yes, I have
Yeah.
to. Um, yeah, it just brings me back to my high school days.
I love that. I could see you in the mirror like 8 Mile in the music video
I
when
don't get that too
Yeah.
into it. I
Chowing
just kind
down
of
some
keep
spaghetti
it in my
before he,
headphones.
hits the field.
Yeah.
that pineapple pizza, that's what he's chowing down before he hits the field. That's why he got all
I
that,
guess
that
look, I guess when we do
bulk.
your live show, Jaylen, I guess we're gonna have to tell him, he needs water and pineapple pizza.
Wow,
So
that's a perfect meal. Boy meal right there. Boy
And
meal. Yeah.
when we get to hang out eventually, we're going
Right.
to let you know that Jordan is a rapper or was a rapper if you did not know that. So we're going to fire some Jordan York songs on your playlist at some
Are you
point.
serious?
yeah.
Dead serious. Dead
was
serious.
was your rapper named Jordan York?
Jordan York, yeah. Just do a lot of Pittsburgh theme music. So just been doing that, do some sports team song for the Pirates and stuff. But
Been
yeah,
on
I
the
mean
radio.
yeah, I can,
Okay.
I've been in ciphers
Big
before. I
time
can I can I
YouTube.
can hold it down a little bit, Jaylen, but
Right here, go
again,
right now. What's a better time than to go right
nah,
now?
because I'm gonna keep it. I'll keep it PG while we're on here. Like I
Oh,
said, you
okay,
can't.
okay, yeah.
All right,
That's great.
we'll save that for when we go grab a burger or something.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man.
Jalen, appreciate you, man. As always,
Yeah.
stay healthy. We're excited to watch you in Houston. Don't put your head down and make any perfect um, runs, I guess you could say.
Right. I'm gonna
You
be
ain't got to comment on it. You ain't
careful.
got to comment on
I'm
it.
gonna be careful.
Enjoy the pineapple pizza, man. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks, Jaylen.
Alrighty, thank y'all.
Was it Sammy? He said no pineapple on pizza. I never order
And
it
he
with
just
it.
told me I need to rap. I guess I'll rap next week. It's been a day.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
on daddy duty all day, so I'm a little bit, but I'm still standing and we do this again for you. But yeah, let's just kind of go over Tomlin Tuesday and just kind of talk about your initial thoughts on the presser. Obviously, the pressers are always better after a win, after two consecutive wins. Just kind of talk about a few bulletins that may have stuck out to you and moving forward into the next week.
Yeah, Coach Tomlin is very smart. He's always extremely complimentary of the next opponent. Sean Payton could learn a lesson about that. That's for sure over there in Denver. But the Texans were super impressive this past weekend. They beat up on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were a playoff team last year and won a playoff game. He spoke glowingly about Will Anderson, the edge from Alabama, who he talked about whining and dining with in Tuscaloosa before the draft. Man, I'm sure the Steelers, if they ever had a chance to take a guy like that, which they weren't going to, they weren't picking that high, would have grabbed him up. No offense to Project Jones or Joey Porter Jr., but that was something that stuck out. And then obviously injuries. I think the one thing that I'll talk about is, and who would have thought that I would talk about a punter when it comes to the injury report? But Presley Harvin has a hamstring, he announced. And the reason I mention that is because Presley Harvin has been balling
He
out of
has
his
been.
mind the last two games. So I want to give him a lot of credit for what he's done. He was under the microscope last year, the first 2 weeks. The Steelers even brought in a former punter, Brad Wing, to potentially replace him. And he has showed up, delivered the last two games, been a big part of their victories. And so hopefully he's healthy and can play and can keep up that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, you got to root for the guy in black and gold. Obviously, it was a rough, go for a little bit, but he has it in him. And we talked to our guy Josh Miller. It could be as simple as where you're dropping the ball, and but it seems that he got it figured out. And the possession is such a big, thing in the NFL. So it's you got to have a solid punter. Obviously, you never want to go 3 and out or not get the first down, but it happens, and it could field position could come down to the game, just like the kicker is such a, the special teams doesn't get enough love. Shout out to our friend, Christian Kuntz, long snapper. It's it's just great all around. It's always when we do these podcasts, like especially like when we had Chris and now Jaylen on, it's like after a win, after a couple wins in a row, it's like, cause you know how Steeler Nation can be. I mean, we're spoiled. Let's be honest. We know that we're spoiled. But the standard is the standard, and that first game, second game, but week by week, I think they're going to figure it out. I think that people need to slow their roll on Kenny Pickett. I really think that he's going to find it. I would say we'll be able to evaluate more in depth around like week 8, week 9, and then you can give me your narrative on what you think of him. But I think that this team's headed in the right direction. The 49ers, we got smacked by them, but they're like my Super Bowl pick right now. And just talent on both sides of the balls, as we know that. But yeah, let's just keep it going. I think that it's a winnable game in Houston. I'm going to say Steelers 23, Texans 14.
Wow, Mike? He gave the prediction even before our Thursday show. Don't forget, it's only Tuesday, man.
Well, I'm sticking bit. I'm not going to switch up. So there you have it.
No, it's a very winnable game.
After talking to Jaylen and knowing what's in his headphones, like, I mean, come on, man. I mean, this dude's sticking up Max Crosby. I was ready to just run through my TV when I seen that. I'm just really happy for him. We're so fortunate to be able to, give this to you guys, but just being able to do this with you and Sammy and Anello, Juliana, Rosa, thank you guys. Sick podcast, Steeler crazy. That's all I have to say. Just make 100%. Sure you subscribe and shout out to all our sponsors, Still City Wheelhouse, Brushes and Beans, Yins. I got the hat on. Mike has the hat on. Make sure you use our code SICK15. And again, we're going to be bringing to you, follow our, socials, and we're going to be doing a lot of giveaways, live shows. You never know what we're going to do, but we do this for Yins, and that's Yins with 2 Z's.
Yeah, it sure is, man. And want to mention once more, we don't just have the Jaylen Warren show. We'll have another podcast dropping later in the week. You never know who we're going to bring on every week. It's a mystery outside of the Jaylen Warren show. So expect potentially a reporter from the Houston Texans, maybe another Pittsburgh Steeler could jump on with us. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Or a local Steelers reporter. But like Jordan said, we're always bringing you great content. Hope you really like this Jaylen Warren show that we throw at you. Thank you for subscribing. We're over 5K subscribers. We just started this show a little over a year ago. This is brand new. It's not like we've had this going on for 5 years. So we expect this to continue to take off. We can't wait to see you at our live show. If you're watching from the Berg, if you're not watching from the Berg, book a plane ticket, travel in whenever we have that booked. Hopefully it's the middle of the season, but we'll certainly let Yins know. Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll have pineapple pizza served at that live show, Jordan. What do you think?
You never know. I know one thing: peace, love, and Steelers football. And we'll be back here Friday with our Rivals episode. Like you said, you never know who we're going to bring on, but we really like bringing these reporters on from the other teams because it gives a different perspective and look. So make sure you're following the socials, the Sick Podcast, Steeler Crazy. Sammy, take it to the house.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Steelers Crazy on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.